Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing really well today. So today's video is going to be must-have items for minimalist travellers, or any travellers for that matter, like anybody who wants to travel anywhere. These are some really great things that I've found over the years that have really worked well for me and for Dom. They just kind of simplify life, simplify travelling, and mean that you have to travel with a lot less. So some things are minimalist, some things are like extra things you could take that will really enhance your time there, wherever it is that you might be going. So yeah, I've got quite a list, so I'm going to get going. So the first thing that you're going to want is an unlocked phone. Where have I put my phone? Oh, it's over there. So yes, one of these. So yeah, whatever phone you do have, make sure that before you leave the country you get it unlocked, because if you don't, then you won't be able to put any other SIM card in than the one that's already in there. So, you know, for me at home, I was with O2, and so I wouldn't be able to use this phone anywhere because I would only be able to ever use that phone with O2, which is a common problem if you ever buy a new phone. So yeah, just make sure you unlock it, and then when you arrive in the country that you're going to be in, you can just buy yourself a little pay-as-you-go SIM card, pop it in, and you are good to go. So the next thing is kind of to do with phones, and it is a power bank. So invest in a really good power bank. It's one of the best things I've ever done, especially living in hostels and, you know, traveling for long periods of time. Your phone doesn't always last, especially if you've got an iPhone. The battery is notorious for running out. So yeah, invest in one of these and you will thank yourself so many times. So the one that I've got is by Anchor. I can leave the links to this and everything else that I can find links to. I'll leave them below just so you can have a little nosy around, because I think it's always really helpful to see what other people use, and you know, it's kind of like a review, I guess, as well. So yeah, I've got this one. I can't remember how like big this is, but this is smaller than the one Dom's got. Dom's is really long, and it can charge phones a lot more, but it's a lot heavier. So when I used to live in a hostel, I would have this little guy and this like on top of each other, and I could just walk around the hostel with my cable and my phone would be charging, which was awesome, and it meant that I didn't have to leave my phone unattended in the room like when I wasn't there, because that's always a safety risk. You know, your phone is valuable at the end of the day. It's your like contact device, so you don't want to be leaving it willy-nilly around hostel dorms and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely invest in one of these. So the next thing to do with hostel dorms is something that I would say is probably excessive, but it's helped us so many times. So it is a splitter. So a splitter from whatever country you're from. So we're from the UK, so obviously we've got the UK plug, and it does have a UK plug on the end, but I think you can get ones where it's got like a different plug to the country that you're from. So anyway, this is good because it means we can charge things by USB, and we can charge things without having to have an adapter. We just need one adapter and we can charge everything we want to charge, all from one like point. And when you live in hostels and stuff, it's really great because you can plug it into the main part of the room and then lead it to your bed, and then you can literally like charge from your bed, because sometimes, you know, plugs are really far away and it's not really very helpful, and sometimes there's only one plug for like a 10-bed dorm, which is ridiculous. So everyone in the dorm will thank you for this. And as well, like if you are thinking of moving in somewhere, it's really great to have the UK plugs rather than it just being like millions of like adapters everywhere. So I'm going to address the noise. I'm really sorry if you can hear like someone snoring. I don't know why they always wait till I'm filming videos to start like doing DIY projects, but they are, so we'll just let them off. So I'm sorry if you can hear them through this video. So the next thing that you're going to want is, like I just said, a travel adapter. So we got these ones from Class Olsen, I think, in the UK, but it's really great because it's a universal one. So as you can see down the side, you press the button and then you just you slide like the things and the different plugs come out. So there's all kinds of ones that do come out, which is awesome. So it just means that, you know, you can go to any country, most countries. I don't know which country is not on here, but there's definitely one or two. But you know, like there's a European plug, there's the UK plug, there's America, and there's also Australasia. So awesome. I really love this. I think it's great. It's so much like easier than having millions of different plugs, especially if you are thinking of traveling to more than one place that uses different plugs. So how many times can I say plug in one sentence? Whew. And then the next thing, which is kind of still travel related, is a lock. So I've mentioned this one a lot in the past, and it's great because you can press the little button and this massive wire comes out and it kind of just locks in place once you let go. but it means that you can attach this to a chair or to whatever and put it around your bag, and then your bag's basically connected to whatever seat you're sat on. This is especially helpful in airports because it means that you can go to sleep without worrying that someone's going to steal your bag, because that's a common thing that not a lot of people do talk about, but unfortunately it happens far too often. It actually happened to my family when we were younger, and they stole all of my teddies and everything, so I was very upset. So yeah, I think these are great just in case you are on a really long haul flight and you are super tired, or if you've gone to a hostel and you're not sure about your roommates and you're a bit like, I don't know if they're very like trustworthy, and maybe you don't have a locker. It just means that you stop them from basically like just taking your bag, you know, just going with it. So yeah, and if you're traveling with sports equipment and stuff too, then it can be really helpful. So I just think it's always good to have something like this just in case, you know. It's as a just in case, like a preventative more than anything. It's not going to stop someone from like snipping it with wire cutters, but it's going to prevent someone from just being able to take your bag. So yeah, I highly recommend one of these. So the next thing that I find really valuable, and it's not really something I've heard a lot of travellers talk about, it's a Turkish towel. So I think these are called hammam towels, and they're just so much smaller than a normal towel. They're a little bit bigger than a microfiber towel, but I've seen some microfiber towels that are massive. And so I've got really sensitive skin on my fingers, and microfiber just clings to dry things. Like, oh, it's horrible. The feeling of microfiber absolutely goes through me. So having one of these is amazing because it's super big. I'm not going to really do it justice right now. I'm just going to kind of cover the camera, but you can kind of like get the gist that it's literally the size of a massive bath towel, and it's super thin and lightweight, and so you can have a shower with this and then put it out to dry, and it will dry within minutes. Like, well, not minutes, but you know what I mean. It will dry the same day, which is amazing, especially in cold countries like New Zealand. I can just wash it in the morning, put it out to dry, and it will be dry by the end of the day, which is awesome. And you know, as well, in hot countries it's great because you can go on the beach, like go for a swim, come back, lay down, maybe do a bit of sunbathing, go back and see. By the time you've come back, the sun will have dried the towel, which is awesome. really great. So I highly recommend one of these, and it's just a little bit thicker than, you know, sarongs. I know a lot of travellers do just use sarongs as towels, but I find them quite annoying because they can be too thin really, and then they just kind of stick to you, and it's not great. So the next thing I would recommend is a compact coat. So this is the coat that I use. I did a review on the 2 coats that I do use, if you're interested in that, but it's just like a tiny little coat that can I just whacked myself in the face, it's not going well, that can basically compact into nothing. Like, you just want something that, I'm not doing this justice at all, but something that you can just fold into literally like the most squishiest little tiny ball ever. The smaller your coat, the better it will be, but if the coat can keep you warm as well, even better. So both of my coats fit into my day bag, which is awesome because it means that while I'm traveling, I don't have to wear my coat. I can just put it in my bag and forget about it. So yeah, I highly recommend, you know, investing in a small, lightweight coat. So this is synthetic down, which is awesome, and it's just super warm and lovely. So I highly recommend that. So the next thing that I definitely think every single traveller should have regardless is earplugs. So I don't know, well, my earplugs are a bit gross, I'm not going to show you them, but I keep them in this little tin. Yeah, they're great because sometimes, you know, sleeping in airports, sleeping at hostels, just sleeping in general, like, can be really difficult when you're not at home, you're not in your own comfort zone, and so just having the option of having earplugs is always great. And sometimes, you know, they can be painful to sleep in, but it's a lot better than getting no sleep. So yeah, I recommend these just in case you do get noisy neighbours or, you know, whatever. The guy next door loves to play really loud music at like really late times at night, so these are a godsend because it just means that you can kind of tune it out. It's not as loud, it's not as annoying, it's not as bassy. You can just kind of drown it out and go to sleep, which is always great. So then the next thing to do with sleeping is a sarong. So I decided to bring a sarong and a towel. Originally I was going to bring 2 of these towels, but I decided not to in the end. So I brought a sarong because, like I said before, you can use it as a beach towel, and it just means that you can just put this on to go to the beach, take it off, put it on the beach, go for a swim, come back, and then, you know, it can dry, and then you've got like an outfit as well, which is cool. But the thing that I use this for the most, especially while I've been traveling, I'm not going to do a very good job here, let's see, is I like to fold it like this, and then you can basically just put it around your face, and you can tie it if you want to, or you can just literally like lean it over, but it's basically an eye mask. Amazing, like dual purpose thing. So, you know, if you do have trouble sleeping in light places, if you don't have curtains wherever you are, or if it's just like if you're living in a hostel, sometimes people are really rude and they put the lights on when you're trying to sleep or won't turn them off. So this is a really great option, and it just means that you can just be like zenned out, and it's just awesome. So yeah, recommend one of these for sure. And you can get these super cheap in places like Bali, Indonesia, you know, all those good places sell these so cheap. So definitely get your hands on one if you can. They're just super light as well, and this doubles up for me as a blanket, which is always amazing, you know, especially on cold planes. So then the next thing, which is a little bit excessive, but if you're going to be traveling a lot, I highly recommend, and it's a neck pillow. So going back in time, I wouldn't get this exact neck pillow, I would get a different one, but this one, you basically blow it up. It's inflatable and it compacts down into nothing. As you can see, it came out of this little bag. But I do know now that you can get ones where it's just like a piece of material in the shape of this, and then you can stuff it with whatever you want. So you could stuff it with like the sarong that you brought, stuff it into there, and that's awesome. So if I can find a link to one of those, I'll definitely leave it below, because the material of it takes up literally no space, and then you've gained a neck pillow. And a neck pillow is amazing. If you have ever travelled for a long period of time, aeroplanes get so uncomfortable and you just get to that point where you're like nodding around, and it just saves your neck from becoming really sore. So yeah, I always travel with a pillow. We do have another awesome one, which it's like this shape, but it can also become an actual pillow shape, and I think the pillow shape's kind of cool. These ones just like, they kind of just chill on your neck, you know, and you just mean you can do this without like breaking your neck. So moving swiftly on before I run out of time is toiletries. So I would always recommend bringing a dry toothpaste if you can find one. So this one was by EcoDent, but I refilled it with my own toothpaste. I have a video for this, I will leave it below, because it's really helpful when you're on the plane and you're traveling for long periods of time. You can take this on the aeroplane, no one's going to stop you, and there's no liquid involved, which is amazing, and it means you can always have fresh breath, which I think is part of travel, like, is just feeling fresh again. And then also a like dry deodorant. So I use a Salt of the Earth deodorant stick, and I think it's awesome. It means you can just pop it in your bag, you can just have a quick wash in the toilets and put some deodorant on, and you're not going to smell on your whole flight. So yeah, we did like a 30 or 40 hour flight and I didn't smell at all, and I had fresh breath, so yes, hacking the system. So then the next thing is pretty simple, and I feel like every traveller knows this one, but it is bring a Kindle. So I love reading, and if you are a reader, these help so much with space, because you can just put everything onto here. Usually Kindle books are cheaper than actual physical books, so it's awesome because you can just have as many books as you want on here. However, if you're not so much of a reader but you do like reading sometimes, if you get an iPad, you can get the Kindle app onto the iPad, and then you can use the iPad like as a mini laptop, which is really cool and, you know, space sufficient. So yeah, highly recommend a Kindle if you're a big reader, because they'll save you so much money and so much space and weight as well, actually. So then the next few things that I want to share with you are electronic things, so not physical things that I can show you, but the first one is to never like print off your tickets. You never need to. You can generally download e-tickets on your phone, and then it just saves them into whatever app you use, and you can just show them it, because 9 out of 10 they don't even care and they don't even look at them, and when you get to the desk they print your tickets out for you anyway, so there's no point taking like a whole rainforest of paperwork with you like we did the first time, because it's just not necessary. So yeah, just save all documents to your phone, you know, copies of your passport and stuff, maybe passport, I don't know what else you could do, like maybe if you've got like a working holiday visa, all of that stuff, email it to yourself. Take photocopies and send it to your email, and send it to a loved one's email. So I email all of my important documents to my mum, so that if I ever lose my email account, my mum's got all of my details, because when you're in another country, if you lose your passport, it's an absolute nightmare if you don't have photocopies of it. So highly recommend doing that all the time, like just make sure that you've safe-proofed yourself basically. And so then the next thing would be to always download local apps. So wherever you go, usually there's apps that can be really helpful in saving money, and also places for accommodation. So booking.com is great, Hostel World, and Airbnb. We use Airbnb all the time. We do actually have a voucher code if you guys are interested in staying in your own Airbnb. So you can get £25 off if you use the code that I will leave below. So yeah, you know, if you just click on that link and sign up, and then you can take a trip at any point and you will get £25 off, which is amazing. We did this the first time and then we just got completely hooked and we use them all the time. It's great if you want to experience different things, like, I don't know, like tiny homes and just like living in amazing places just for like a day or two. It gives you a real cool experience, so I highly recommend those. But yeah, there's heaps of apps that you can get that are really awesome, save you a lot of money, and sometimes have deals on too. So yes, make sure you do that. And then the last thing that I want to share is making sure that you always download offline Google Maps. So not a lot of people know this, but you can actually download maps on Google when you're offline, which means that when you arrive in the country that you're going to be at, you don't need to have Wi-Fi or 3G. You can just literally have the map there, which is so helpful. So yeah, I highly recommend looking into that if you are someone who travels a lot, because it's very helpful when you know where you're going and you know how to get to your hostel like when you first arrive. So yes, I think that's it. I'm gonna let you go. I have blabbered your absolute heads off, so I'm sorry about that. I just had quite a few things I really wanted to share with you, because I just think all of these little bits and bobs are super helpful when you are traveling, especially if it's one of your first times doing like a long haul travel or like long-term travel too. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you've got any other amazing tips that have really helped you in the past, then please leave them below, because I love this community. We all help each other so much, and there might be something that you know that I don't know that could really help me too, so I would love to know. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Please give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye guys.